All right, what's up guys? Welcome back. We are here with Arthur of Blipspeed, and he does a lot of fabrication work. He'll tell you a little bit about what he does.
Yep, hi, I'm Arthur, owner of Blipspeed. I just built this shop a couple years ago. I mainly do fabrication for the grassroots motorsports racing community. So basically all the people who run out at Circuit of Americas, Harris Hill Raceway are my main clients. So I do a lot of roll cage builds, a lot of custom exhaust, just anything you can really think of for your race car is kind of what I mess around with.
Sweet. And so we're going with 2.5-inch piping here, and then I got a vibrant exhaust and a flex pipe, a reducer, some rods for the hangers, and a V-band. And we're doing a single exit exhaust as opposed to the dual exit that's on the MR2 right now.
So it looks like the original exhaust system on the MR2 is a 2-inch, so we have to expand from 2-inch to 2.5-inch. Most exhaust that I do is 2.5-inch on 4-bangers, so you got a full straight through, this is what's called a glass pack. So these mufflers don't really quiet things down too much. The way they're designed, the exhaust gases, when they flow into them, help to recreate laminar flow when it's coming out of the muffler, which helps increase your exhaust speeds. So usually when I'm designing an exhaust system, I like to not have long lengths of just continuous tubing, because the longer the tube is, the more the exhaust wants to kind of spiral down the tube, and the longer the tube is, the more of that spiraling you're getting, and you're causing restriction. So having a muffler like this is really nice for performance, obviously for that reason. We're also going to be installing a catalytic converter. Not too much to say about these other than you need to put these in your exhaust system, or the FDA, or not the FDA, you'll get in trouble. Just make sure you put those on your car. And every car that leaves my shop gets a catalytic converter. And then we just got a simple little exhaust tip here. So cool. Not a really complicated exhaust system. Hopefully we can knock this out really quickly. Still predicting about 5 hours worth of work here at least.
I guess you guys will see the hole after we take out the exhaust, but I temporarily zip tied it with some metal zip ties. This is kind of what fell off.
They look semi-clean. I want to put some penetrating fluid on that real quick and let it start settling in. First thing we're gonna do is just take a reciprocating saw and cut off your old crap. We're gonna expand right into the catalytic converter pretty much. Might have like a 1 or 2 inch section there. Make our turn, do our U-bend, muffler, outlet. Ain't no going back now.
That's how big the hole was. All the bolts here are just completely fused together. All right, so we're removing the Y pipe right now, but one of the bolts is kind of giving us a tough time. So I bought this on Amazon. I always see it on people's channels and they say it works great. So hopefully this works. Honestly, I think it's turning red.
Much better. I like to weld these clamps entirely while they're in these little pieces, because that makes welding a lot easier. And then we will tack together the entire system. That way we can back purge before we do our final welds. I'll pulse the inside. That's just where you're welding without any type of fill rod. Whenever you see people doing this, they'll just do a complete bead around the outside. And I was just taught that that's not necessarily a good idea. What you want to do is you just want to do a bunch of stitch welds all the way around. I'll show you what that looks like here in a second. But basically the idea is if a crack starts to form in the middle of one of those welds, it'll stop. If it's welded all the way around, that crack will just continue to propagate all the way around, and eventually it'll crack off. It becomes a bigger deal when you're making parts that are like directly flanging into a turbo or something like that. You know, exhaust system, it's not so much, but it's just a good practice to have, kind of a style that I use that I think kind of makes my stuff look a little different from other people's. So the color you're trying to achieve when you're TIG welding stainless steel is kind of a golden color. They call it straw. All the exhaust systems that have all the fancy blue and purples and, you know, the weld porn colors, technically those colors come from the stainless steel oxidizing. In order for a part to be considered aerospace worthy, you can't have any of those blues and purples. You want all your welds to have this golden color, and that just requires the correct temperatures when you're welding, adequate coverage, which is why you have to use these big lenses. Just have more area for the argon to be covering so you can make a longer weld. Starting to dig that.
Yeah, this exhaust system was slowly falling apart. These bolts weren't even usable anymore. And of course, the hanger coming off created a large hole, which caused an obnoxious drone. After 10 hours or so, Arthur was able to weld up the new exhaust system. It truly is a work of art. Full stainless, V-banded, and exactly how I wanted it. I mean, the difference between the two is just insane.
Virtually for life, unless you somehow cook it to death, like in a fire or something like that, it's gonna stay totally fine. It might change colors over time, but you can easily get some Scotch-Brite out, go over it again, and it's just like brand new again. That's one thing I try to tell my customers. It's a forever thing. Like, you want to buy another exhaust in 5 years, keep doing this, or spend the money now, get the good stuff,
right,
and have it for a lifetime. And especially when you're working on a car that's a classic. I mean, if this doesn't get wrecked, it's going to get handed off to the next person, and the next person, and the next person. Nobody's going to see this exhaust and want to throw it away. This is going to stay with the car forever. So in theory, this is the last time
that's going to go on.
This needs to come off.
As you saw earlier in the video, he uses a bunch of these welding rods to mock everything up. Here, everything is mocked up so we can see where the hangers need to go.
Bend in this direction.
So yeah, he bends these hangers in a vise and somehow they end up fitting perfectly on the exhaust.
Pretty good to me.
I don't even think it needs that bend.
Well, I'm gonna cut it right here. Mark for when I cut this off, I want it to be flat and level to the ground.
I see.
And if I don't put that mark there, when I go put it in the vise, it could be several different directions.
Even the hangers looked awesome.
Little tarnish
finish
That's it. Dude, this looks fantastic. What do you think? You like it?
Dude,
you happy with it?
It's exactly what the MR2 needed, I think.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Thanks, man. You crushed it. You really did.
Thanks, brother. Anytime.
Look at that. This is how it looks like 5 or 6 months later without even touching or washing anything. A quick wipe down would clean it right up. Overall, I'm super happy with how it turned out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.